Hey, what's up everybody? It's Brandon here, and today we're going to do a little tutorial on how to build some really cool baby room bookshelves. And these are actually made out of vinyl gutters. That's right, the gutters that you put around the house. Use those. Probably seen them on Pinterest. We had a friend that lives in California, but we decided we're going to do it in our baby room. As you can see, I already have some of them up, but this last one I wanted to kind of take you in, show you how you could do it, so then that way you can do this in your baby room, or you can do it in your kid's room, or anywhere in the house. Actually, it's really cool, and it works great. They work perfect. So let me show you what we got going on. First, I'm going to show you the supplies that we got. We got this kind of design of the guttering. We picked all this stuff up at Lowe's. So this one kind of have a cool little design, so it'll look nice on the wall. They come in 10-foot sections, which was perfect because we did 3 about 32 inches. So still had some left over at the end if we ever want to use it somewhere else. So 10-foot section, I cut out my size. I had the size measured out. I knew what I wanted. Boom, cut 32-inch sections. Once I got those cut all out, I got those pieces. We have the end caps, right? You want to have a cool little end cap. As you can see on these ones, just little end caps on the spine, kind of make it look cool. Then you're going to have the mounting brackets. These are the brackets that you can buy with them. They slide across and then hides the mounting bracket behind. The screws, these are the screws that actually at Lowe's are designed for it. Geneva vinyl gutter system, so these are perfect for it because on the gutter you're going to try and mount with the wood, and we aim for the studs on most of these. One of them we missed, but it's cool. We'll get into that later. Otherwise, it works great. So what I did is first measured out where I wanted my gutters, and then once I knew where I wanted them, I found that the hole where you actually screw into to mount your rack lines up perfect with the height. So once I knew where I wanted the height to be, all right, this is where I want the top, cool, then I could go from there. And so I knew that. So what I did, and this is a little trick I learned too, you can actually, on most paint, you can use chalk and you can mark your line. So I took my leveled it out, drew my line across. Like I said, you can use chalk. Let me come in here close so you can see. Chalk across, and all you do when you're done is you take a wet little cloth and the chalk comes right off. So really cool, really simple. That way, you used to use like pencils and pens and stuff like that, and then you would have to try and cover it up or whatever. Chalk works great because, like I said, you can just wipe it off when you're done. So that's a cool little trick. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my mounting brackets. Because I'm doing 32 inches, I wish I would have thought about this ahead of time, and I didn't. Maybe this can help you in the future. So you have your studs usually on 16 inches, and so that's exactly 32 inches. However, the mounting brackets sit inside about 2 inches, so I was able to hit studs on 2 of them because you have play in them, but the third one I was not able to hit a stud, which is fine because I have these 2 studs here. If you miss your studs complete, you have a different size, it's fine. Just use like drywall screws, things like that. But I was able to get the studs on these 2, which is enough weight, as you can see, to hold it. Having just one off of it, it's fine. It'll hold. So the first thing I did is find those studs. So I have a stud finder here, and I found there was a stud here. I marked that stud right there. Cool. And then I marked this stud over here. So I came as far over as I could off of this stud this way, so that way I'm not too far over up against this wall. Once we have curtains here, it'll look a lot better. It'll look a lot more centered. So the first one I'm going to do is this one over here. I'm going to screw that mount in. So let me do that. And I'm doing these all by hand because it's kind of an awkward, if if you take a look at the piece, so you're sticking that screwdriver down in. So with the automatic one, it's easy to get it all stripped off. So I didn't want that. So off my line, I already have my mark within the stud. So this will go into the stud. So let me screw this in here. So we got that one in. Perfect. I have my middle one. I'm going to do my middle one next. The third one, I'm going to show you how we measure that out, because that one we're going to measure out. The middle one, mark in the middle, like I said, find that stud. We know that stud's there, so I'm going to put this here. And actually, I'll be honest, the first time this is how I did it. The second time, I just lined up to the top screws. That way it's all even. So, but this first time, this is exactly how I did it. And then I just made every other one match it. Okay, so now that we got that in, that's lined up. Now I'm going to take the actual gutter and I'm going to slide it in to these brackets. And let me show you how it works. You can see there's little clips on there and these slide perfectly right in. And that's how that works. So I'm going to slide these in. Slides in here. Slides in here. And then I'm going to take my end cap and I'm going to put my end cap on. So now I'm going to butt the end cap up to this last mount. So now what this can do is I can put this mounting bracket down here. So this is butted up to that, and this is here. So now all I do is, now I have my mark, right? I have right here, I lined up. So this is where this last one's going to go. That way you get a perfect fit instead of trying to measure and do all these things. Once you get it in, then you have that perfect match. So I'm going to get it lined up with my line that I made, mark my spot with the screw, pull this off, slide this over, and now I can mount this. The stud is just over from here, and then as you can see there's electrical wires. These usually run up and down and they run up against the stud, so that's what you have to pay attention to. That's where I made the mistake the other day, if you ever saw, when I drilled into the gas line. The gas line ran right up against that stud there, and I missed the stud by a couple inches just because the stud finder works off a magnet. It picks up the screws within the stud, and it happened to pick up the metal in the gas line. And so I drilled right into it. So that's what you have to be careful of, knowing where all this kind of stuff runs. So you're thinking probably run side to side or up and down up against that stud. So I know there's a stud right there, and we're going to miss it, like I said, which is totally fine. This will have enough support. I've already tested it up there. Will be great. So I'm going to put this in. Ooh! Let me get it started. It's tough to screw up that angle, like I said, so. You just kind of got to break through. There we go. So I broke through that initial layer. Now I can get it the rest of the way. There we go. Now we go in pretty easy. And since that one's not on a stud, you kind of want to be easy while you're screwing it in. You don't want to over screw it, and because then it will just tear up that drywall and you won't have as good of a hold. It's going to hold, but if you mess up that drywall too much, it'll mess it up. So, boom, then you got a perfect fit. This one's a little dirty, unfortunately. I'll just scrub some of that off. So, there we go. Now you got a bookshelf, and as you can see, books fit in perfect. So, let me give you a close-up. You can see what we did again. You can see I've marked my lines, drilled my holes, and now we can go back, now that we got it in here, and you can see we'll just scrub that chalk off. Comes right off. Super cool trick. So, there you go. As you can see, there's the mounting bracket. Holds in right there. We'll put those on there. Let me step back. You can see the final project. There you go. Oh, there's my light. Magic of Hollywood. So, there you go. You can see bookshelves. Looks great. Looks awesome. Functional. Made out of, once again, vinyl guttering. So, just a little home project wanted to show you. Hope this is something that you can use in your house. If you know someone that's doing a baby room, thinking about doing bookshelf stuff like that, give this a like, comment, and share. Tag them if you want. Share it with them. That way they can have a little help, ideas. Have a great night.